about that because that's an advice someone gave me when I was a student, as a graphic designer in general, and I feel like when you have a style and you're kind of getting comfortable into a style or an aesthetic that is yours, etc., you kind of always want to look for the details. People say like the devil is in the details, and it's actually really interesting because sometimes you can have the composition right, etc., but you will see that there's a lot to improve when you zoom in on things, when you take the time to just add tiny touches here and there that makes a lot of difference into an artwork itself. And I do that for my pieces as well. And I know it doesn't look like, because my pieces, you would just think that they're just like poured like that and then voila, bye bye, colors and boom.
I've zoomed
But I
into your
actually take
pieces. I see how much goes into it. Your little light flares and all the different all the
Yeah, but even with the light flare, like the light flares and the texture, etc., is interesting. I feel like it's needed, but for example, I take a lot of time to just rework all of the contrast with the digital pencil, and I rework all of the contrast on certain parts of the pieces. So there's like more black here, more color there, and I really zoom into the artwork. And then zoom back and zoom in to just really see how it affects the composition, and it does a lot. And some people will say that it's just like being a little bit too extra, but it actually makes a difference.
I don't think so.
I know.
So I've always wondered this. Do you start from a photograph? Do you do your own liquid photography, or how do you start your process?
Yes, I do. So I know it's weird because a lot of people aren't familiar with what I do, or the process itself, but it's really simple actually. And I actually work with a lot of tangible mediums at first as a base, and then comes my favorite part of the process, which is the post-production.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I would be a painter, like a traditional painter, but that's not my goal. I hate that. Like the painting itself, I really do not bother about paintings or inks or liquids or photographs. I just take random things that looks abstract and then just destroy the shit out of it after.
That's awesome.
So that's my goal.
So it's so your base photos are not always liquid, like marbly liquid. Sometimes there are other objects that you manipulate.
Sometimes it can be close-ups. So most times they're just like chemical reaction on my sink. Like for example, the other day I just made a custom oil. That's difficult to say. Oil spill in my sink, for example, with like it happened like that. I had a greasy pan and I just made something.
Yeah.
Then I took the camera, took a photo, and just enhanced the photographs like a lot, because like if you look at the base photographs, they're just like really disgusting. Like
right.
There's no color, there's no everything. Like, and if I paint something, I will not add colors at all because I don't care about the colors of physical stuff. I just love the colors of like what I do as a digital artist. That's my goal.
You want the bright stuff.
There's nothing that can compare to RGB, nothing.
Yeah, that's true. I feel that whenever I am forced to design something for print, and I have to click that god-awful CMYK button on Illustrator or Photoshop, it's like, it just hurts. Like, oh, hey, just use the duller half of the colors.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, I used to work as most of my career as a graphic designer has been as a print graphic designer. So I really love working in CMYK and just figuring out a way to just take the most out of colors into CMYK. That's like one of my favorite things to do. It's a big challenge, but I really love it. I just love doing printed objects and stuff. But also I love the fact that with digital art I don't have to think about that and I just can sell my pieces just as is, and then there's no client saying like, oh, but if we purchase that the colors aren't going to be the same, etc. And I'm just like, Yeah,
Yeah,
I knows.
true.
Been there. I done that.